Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Tara Elzingre, and I am thrilled to be here today for the second of the Tech Control Room series webinars. Today, we're going to be talking all about prompt engineering and really just trying to keep it as basic as possible to give you as much information that you can actually use from today, and that that it's something that you can implement straight away as well where possible. So really what we're looking to try and come away with today is three main areas. So how to build a prompt, tools versus you, and prompt chaining. And just to, again, talk a little bit about the Tech Control Room series. It's 12 different webinars, 30 minutes every Wednesday at 1 p.m. for the next few weeks, with one or two breaks for holidays, where I'm just going to be giving you one value-packed action you can do on the day. Now, for those who don't know me, my name is Tara Elzingre. I am an AI strategist and digital tool trainer. One of my clients at one stage called me the realest voice in AI, and I've adapted that as my kind of catchphrase. I'm a qualified purple person. If you don't know what that is, it's a person who can bring business acumen and the tech to people who maybe don't have a tech background and want to use it for their everyday business. I'm really proud to say that this year I have delivered training for over 2,000 people, either in this kind of format with lunch and learns, more specific workshops for different businesses, as well as in wider platforms as well. So it's really great to just be able to present this even to my own audience now, finally getting around to it in June of this year. And most of my clients who do one-to-one work with me see results within 30 days. Now, what is prompting? A very, very simple, short sentence on that. Prompting is just communicating on purpose. And I think there's a lot of confusion out there. We're calling it artificial intelligence, but the reality is AI doesn't know what you don't know. It is up to you to give it direction. It is up to you to allow it to, I suppose, take that direction. And if it's poor instructions that you're giving, the outputs are going to be poor, they're going to be generic as well. One of the examples I've given, which people seem to really enjoy, is that prompting is almost like toilet training. Your kid may understand the words, but they might take a little bit of time to actually understand what it is you're saying. It takes a little while to translate that into actual practice. Now, I would absolutely love if you had a moment to put into the chat a little bit about your business. Feel free to share your links to share and kind of meet each other and things like that as well. I'd really love to know more about you. If you have any questions, please do put it into the chat as well. And I'll happily get to them at the end of it. As I said, this is going to be really short and sweet session here today. I do have a handout for you now as well. And now that there's a few people in the room, I'm going to put that into the chat as well. And this is just a framework going over what we're covering here today. But as you can kind of see there on the photos, it's the same image generated in a lot of different ways. And this is from a prompt that I used myself. And, sometimes we have an idea of the output that we're looking for. And when you put it into ChatGPT or any other LLM, it doesn't get it straight away all the time. And you have to refine it, you have to tweak it, you have to use different language to maybe help it to understand more. And that's really what we're looking at today. Like, how do you prompt, on purpose so that they understand what it is you're trying to communicate? And again, as you might have seen by my second name, Elzingre, my husband is Swiss, and quite often we will have the same word for something, but it could have completely different meanings to us. And we've had to, over the years, really shuffle together to understand that we're talking about the same thing. And it's the exact same with AI. We really do confuse the fact that AI is an intelligent thing, but really what it's doing, it's recognizing linguistic patterns, and it is translating that, and I'll almost put an asterisk on its creativity level, because it's using our prompt to generate what it thinks that we want. And think again is an asterisk next to it. It does not have emotional intelligence. It does not have self-awareness. There, ethics and values, it's curiosity, it's not there. So we really do need that human in the loop when we are putting in our prompts in order to give it that context and give it what it is that we're looking for. So if you are looking to use an LLM to generate content for you, for your platform, for your business, then you need to be able to explain what it is you're looking for to the LLM in order for it to generate what you are looking for. So quite often I talk about it being like you're onboarding a new staff member. What would you need to do to onboard a new staff member? what would you give them in order to make sure that they actually do their job to the best of their capacity? And it's the exact same with AI. Now, it's gotten fantastic in the sense that because it has this memory, you don't have to put in the same prompts over and over again. And there's ways of you kind of allowing the artificial intelligence to save that information so that it actually learns from you and trains from you and by those examples. But you really do need to give it that context. You really do need to explain what it is that you're looking for. And that is what we're looking at and talking about here. Now, as I said, if you have any questions, please do put them into the chat. Please do let me know a bit more about yourself. If you want to put in any links so people can follow you and share, love to see what you come up, what your creations look like after this session as well. Now, I shared this on my Instagram there a few days ago as well, and the different types of way that you can prompt. And maybe when you're getting started, you might have looked at something like that, like the bad prompt there, write 10 Instagram captions for my business. And sometimes we can be blown away with the results because if it has any memory of you, maybe it can fill in some of the gaps for you and actually sound like it actually has understood the context and it has understood in reality the assignment that you're trying to give it to it. But they often miss the tone and context that we're looking for. And again, AI doesn't know what you don't know. So if you don't really understand what makes a good Instagram caption, it's really hard for you to tell AI what it's missing and maybe give it some restrictions, give it some boundaries on what it is that you're looking for. So it doesn't understand meaning. What it does is predict patterns. And also another, I suppose, kind of caveat to AI is the fact that it reflects bias. It doesn't recognize any biases that it might have. So it's up to us to check this as well, even when we're prompting it and kind of saying, I want this for a wider audience, or I want this for a more niche audience, and you need to be a bit more careful about saying it this way, etc. Your business has nuance and AI doesn't. So it's up to you to make sure that you're putting that into your prompt. And again, we're going to be looking at like what is a good prompt. There's the 7 kind of elements that you can use for yourself, different tools that you can use to build that out. And then something called prompt chaining that I really feel helps to get the best results out of prompting with artificial intelligence. Let me know what it is in the comments as well, what you're really looking for, when you're prompting, like what is it that you're hoping to do? Are you using it for marketing mostly? Are you using it for customer service? Or is there something else that you're potentially using it for as well? But the accountability does live with you. It doesn't live with the AI. So it is up to you to make sure that you are prompting to the best of your capacity and using, I suppose, the resources that you have to train that AI. It's the same way if you hired somebody new and you didn't train them in properly. Well, you couldn't really blame them for not getting their job done if they didn't have all the tools as well. So the best results happen when you have that collaboration approach with AI. Now, this is an example. As you can see, I basically put in the best prompt out of those 3 sections. So here are 3 Instagram captions I've used that performed well. Insert examples, break down what worked in each, and then write 10 new captions using that insight. I'll pick the 2, explain why, and we'll keep refining the best for tone, CTA strength, and scroll stopping power. Now, that in itself is a strong enough prompt if you have given the LLM that you're working with more context, if it understands your business, if you have built up that memory and maybe you have shared something like your own business plan, your own brand guide, etc. with the ChatGPT, or I'm just going to use ChatGPT for now because we all know that there's so many out there. There's Gemini, there's Claude, there's DeepSeek, there's so many of them, and they all have slightly different ways of prompting. And they all have prompting guides specifically for them. So I do encourage you to look those up afterwards as well, and tweak this formula that I'm giving you based on the LLM that you're using. But this is a tool that you can use to make your prompts even better again. Now, there's a caveat with this as well. Again, these are also tools. And they're also using pattern recognition to build out these prompts. Now, they are using the different areas that I suppose built into them, the 7 steps that I'm walking through are already built into these tools for you to make it easier so that it can actually fill in the gaps for you. Now, Originality.ai, you can see the I for some reason has come down here below it, but it is also in the Word doc that I've shared in the chat. So I've added those links there for yourself as well. And even if you want to push, if you do have a library of prompts for yourself that you use, I encourage you to just put one of those into Originality.ai and see what it comes out with. And as you can see, like you get 20 of these in the free version of it as well. And I've given you 2 other versions of it that work really well. One is specific for ChatGPT and absolutely brilliant as well. And that again is included in that Word document. But you can see here it's filled in some gaps. It has given more context. It has given more tone as to what it is that we're potentially looking for. Again, if you pay for these tools, you can make it more specific, more niche to you, and you can train them on your exact business so that it knows specifically what it is you're looking for over time. The same way that, again, if you're hiring somebody new, over time, they're going to get better at their job. They're not going to be great at it straight away, but they will get better at it. But again, you can see what you could potentially do with something like this. And again, even if you didn't want to use a separate tool, you could go onto the GPT store on ChatGPT and look up prompts, and it can actually do this for you as well. Not a bad way to get started, especially if you're not really sure and you're trying to save some time yourself on how to go about doing it, using one of these tools so that it can build it out for you and you can get something really specific and bespoke for you. You can add in this prompt then to ChatGPT and give it some examples as well. If you have seen something, if for instance, if you're writing a blog and you've seen a blog that you like, you can say, look, I like this style of blog, but I want you to insert this information into this style of blog. Can you combine the two for me? So it's just those tools are really quick, easy ways to help you get started with it. Again, always think about the human in the loop and where you may need to tweak this. So even if you copied and pasted this into it, do you actually really want it to be something that is relatable and has a bit of humor to it, or do you need it to be a bit more serious? Do you need to change that around? Has it just, I suppose, for want of a better term, has it just assumed that that is what you're looking for on it? Now, as I said, you can see here, this is the prompt that I have put up, and this is what it has come out with. And all these tools work in a similar way. You again have to prompt the prompt machine, and so it's still relying on the information you have. So again, if you're looking for it for digital marketing, but you're not actually really a big fan of digital marketing and you don't really know what works for Instagram posts, I would still talk to a human first. Go visit the local enterprise office, come and join an Enterprise Nation Lunch and Learn and learn more about digital marketing so you understand what is a good Instagram post and what's not a good Instagram post so that you can prompt with it beforehand. But AI isn't going to know that going to know that you don't understand the difference either. Hope that all makes sense. I think I got a bit tongue twisted there myself. So these are the 7 elements, and again, I have come up with these. As I said, Gemini has a slightly different variation to this. ChatGPT has a different variation to this. But when you put in a prompt, what it's searching for, all of those LLMs are essentially searching for all of these types of information. Any form of generative AI is looking for these forms of information in order to give you a response in this format. Call to action is purposely at the end there because it's not always relevant, especially if you're making an image or something like that. So first and foremost, what is your goal? So what output are you expecting? And maybe you haven't a clue yourself as to what you actually think it's going to look like at the end. But what is it like? What is it that you're going and what are you expecting? And again, if you look at the images that I had of my red panda, I absolutely love red pandas. And I decided to try and make a red panda sitting behind a desk, making it futuristic. I had an idea in my head as to how that was going to look, and I had to keep tweaking the prompt, but I had a goal in mind, so I knew what it was that I was looking for. So, what is your goal? What format should it look like? And being specific with this. And again, it's all down to potentially one word. If you're using a word like "no, I don't like this," can you rewrite this again? Well, you could end up actually just getting them to rewrite something that sounds just as robotic as the first attempt. So, what format should it look like? Are you looking for a list? Are you looking for something that's in paragraph form? Be specific on the format and the audience, knowing your audience yourself. What is it that you're looking for so that it can understand the tone and the context behind the content that you're looking for. How should it sound? Is it bold? Is it cheeky? Is it professional? Friendly? And again, context here as well. What do they need to know to get it right? Do you want it to be more of a story? What else do they maybe need to know? By the way, this is coming up there in 2 weeks' time. I need you to mention and talk about my offer. And the constraints is something that we really do forget about quite often as well. So, if you've ever heard the term hallucinations, hallucinations are a feature, not a bug. So, the reason that generative AI can actually hallucinate and make up stuff essentially is in order to give it that decision factor, in order for it to actually be allowed to make decisions. So we need to be able to restrict that as well, and kind of say, again, bringing it back to your like brand guide. And if you were had an intern there and you said, okay, look, we can't say anything that's offensive, we can't use bad language or something like that. Maybe it's something that you need to explain to your intern from the start. So, what constraints did you need to use? Do you need it to be something that, again, has a certain word count? Or, does it need to be that they cannot make up any untruths and put that in there as well? And the call to action, again, if it is relevant, to put that in there as well so it can direct the flow of it. Just to mention as well, before we get to the prompt chaining, I do have three workshops coming up, but the first are on a 2-for-1 offer. These are happening on the 27th of June and the 25th of July, and they are basically 3-hour long workshops where you're going to be getting customized GPTs from me and more information, a real interactive session where you'll come out of it with systems in place, as well as content that's going to help you, how to use AI to build content for you. They're a really bespoke way of doing it. And I'm really looking forward to it. You can scan the QR code there. You can also find it on Eventbrite. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me if you want any further information about it. Now, to get on to the prompt chaining, because I'd really love to give a few minutes to questions and answers. So this is just bringing it all together at the end. Again, don't focus too much on the words prompt chaining or flow or anything like that. It's exactly the same as what we looked at already, but we're just basically bringing this all together now. And if you have ever tried to do something that's maybe like 1,500 words or 2,000 words, maybe you found like if you do a really, really long prompt, it doesn't seem to kind of get all of it. So, AI does have a limit, in terms of what it can actually do. So breaking it up into chains and building out the system tends to work better than trying to overload the system and giving it all the information at once. So if you're trying to write potentially, if you wanted to write a book, for instance, you wouldn't ask it to write the full book in one session. You'd outline your plan and maybe you work with the ChatGPT or any other LLM on that plan itself. You can do that stage together. Make sure you have that crystal clear on yourself and then structure the output. What is it that you really want to be? And again, it's almost like looking at the result before you actually create it. So what is the result that you're looking for, and making sure that that's crystal clear. I want a finished book at the end of this that I'm going to publish on Amazon, and being super clear on what that output is going to look like. And then you're going to feed it the context and voice. And this is where we're looking at those 7 steps again. Who's your audience? Do you want it to be a bit humorous? Do you want it something else? And what is the purpose of this piece of content? Or what is the purpose of it? Are you trying to build out your own customized service bot? What is it that you're looking to do? And then generating the first draft. And I do say first draft because, again, if you were to look at my series of photos there, you can see I created that image almost 7 times to get what it is that I want. How many times do you need to get it so that it gets the information right, that it sounds like you, that it is something that you are happy to say, human in the loop here, I have created this, and this is top quality for my business. The same way, again, that if you had an intern, you would potentially critique and give them feedback, and offer examples and read their first drafts before you would ever let them publish it and put it out under your business name. The exact same way with AI again. And then train with feedback. Again, it's very obvious, like I said, but there's other ways of doing that as well. You can add in documents, you can add in videos, and say, look, this is more what I was looking for. Or you actually got this wrong. What I was looking for was this, and using different words and different language on it. But words do create worlds. And while I don't agree on going down and downloading the 100 best prompts to use, all of these are potentially generic prompts that everyone else is using as well. So you need them to make them bespoke to your business and create systems, create your own library of them as well. But you can use them, the tools to do this, or you can do it for yourself. And then refine and layer. And again, if you can copy these systems, and if you can copy this prompt chain, you then have a few different systems that you could potentially use each and every time, depending on what system that you're looking to do it with. Hope that all makes sense. I'm going to, again, just open it up there now for questions and answers. If anybody does want to reach out to me, there's my email. You can also find me on social media, LinkedIn and Instagram are where I hang out most often, or you can check out my website as well. If you do have any questions, again, feel free to put them into the chat, or if you're happy enough to unmute yourself, you can join online there as well. What is the best approach when your LLM misunderstood your prompt? Thanks for the question, Isaac. So this again is there's potential 2 answers with this, okay? Where if if it gave you completely the wrong results than what you were expecting, what I would go back and do is look at rephrasing what it is that you've said, like look back at the context that you've given it and see if it is something that you have potentially kind of fed it that where it was misinterpreted. If not, what could you potentially do to improve on it using those 7 steps again? Did you add the context into it? Did you explain the format that you wanted? And even throwing it into one of those prompt tools to see what it comes up with. So use the exact prompt you used and put it into the prompt tool to see what that prompt tool would have put instead of what you had put. And then the other thing is asking it. So there, you could basically put it into the prompt tool, or you can ask it. You could say, what did you misunderstand here? Or, what can I do to give you more information to get this right? Hope that makes sense. But if you have any other questions, please do reach out to me. I'd love to hear more about that. Any other questions from anybody? Gone off there now. Really glad that you learned so much. Thank you so much for attending today, Yasmina. And so sorry again about the delay. I don't know why, but it didn't send the Zoom link as it should have. So do apologize, but I am sending the follow-up again today. And if you do have any other questions or queries, please let me know. I will just say as well that in the prompt Word document that I gave, I've also included a link for some feedback. I'd really appreciate any feedback. As I said, this is the second of the tech room control room series, so really hoping to give as much value as I can in these. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of you in the workshop as well. Please do reach out, please do follow, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you next week. Take care, everyone. Thank you.